Table or truth?
All right, so what other topics you feeling, huh? It could be anything. It could be local, man.
Okay. You heard about Lauren Boebert?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm on your side on this one. Wasn't she vaping in a? And then she tried to deny it.
Oh yeah,
No, don't deny it. Just admit it.
yeah. It was in Denver at a Beetlejuice musical
Why was she
show.
vaping in the like? Why can't you wait till you go outside?
She had a male companion with her,
So
and so she used to be married.
okay, so she was
Okay.
cheating on her husband, or
Well, I don't know her marital status, but whether or not we know that Marjorie Taylor Greene was getting divorced or is divorced. So these family value Republicans don't seem to have a whole lot of family values, um, but
obviously the Democrats are much more holistic on family values than Republicans.
no, they just don't go out and make that a
A campaign slogan.
yes.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
But no, it was a Beetlejuice musical, and I
It
believe
was
it
so
was
bad she needed a vape.
in Denver. Her and her male companion
Mm-hmm.
were sitting there, and she was vaping.
Mm-hmm.
She was taking pictures.
You're not supposed to take pictures, right?
No,
Okay.
and she was singing and loudly and waving her hands and
She was drunk.
That was never confirmed.
Allegedly.
Well, I can't even say that.
She was a reprobate mind.
So there was a pregnant woman who was sitting in the seat behind the couple.
Yeah.
And
she vaped right in front of her.
Asked her not to vape.
Really?
And she said no, and continued. And then after intermission, there was some complaints to the usher, and they said that's not first complaint. And then after intermission, she continued her nonsense, and they asked her and her companion to leave. And then on the way out in the lobby, she decided to give the employees her finger as she exited the venue.
Wow, it's disappointing if I was an acolyte of Lauren Boebert, let me tell you. But I'm not.
And
I think she's kind of obnoxious, to tell you the truth.
Well, she's up for re-election in 2024. She beat her Democratic opponent by 500 in 2022, 500 votes. And so let's say that it's going to be a problem for her.
If she wins, she's going to be pulling an AOC, I'll tell you right now.
And what's an AOC?
It's basically now a Lauren Boebert. Somebody that no matter how obnoxious and unbearable you can act sometimes or hypocritical, you're still going to get the votes inexplicably by the sycophants that seem to be in your district. I don't know how else to explain it. Lauren Boebert feels like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse against the Democratic Party that was sent by like the fates. Now I'm just using like analogies here, just so they get a taste of how annoying it is listening to AOC whine and throw over dramatic tirades in the Senate floor, or whatever, the House of Representatives. Lauren Boebert's the equivalent. She's just on the other side. She's just so annoying. I agree. If I was like a Democratic elected government official, I'd be rolling my eyes and be like, "Oh boy, here we go again." Tension whoring. Call me crazy, but I get what it's like. I'd be like, woman, you made your point. Will you just shut up, right? Just say it once, right? But no, she like, it's like she feeds off the attention. She'd be a good podcaster, but not on the Senate floor. Like just know that you have a certain limited time, and after a while, people like you made your point. Shut up. So no, I'm believe it or not, I'm not a fan of Lauren Boebert.
I didn't say you were.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's yeah. So I notice there's really no debate here. It's like yeah, she's I don't know how she got elected, and I really don't get her. But that's really tragic. I mean, what else you got, bro? What else you got? That's good stuff, though. You know.
Well, over the weekend, um, former President Trump made a speech in D.C. in which we know that uh, some of the accusations of the right is that Biden doesn't have the cognizant skills in order to president, which he is.
Right.
And during the speech, Trump had some problems. In
He
which,
took some low blows.
well, he said that he was running and beat President Obama, which he did not. He actually ran against Hillary Clinton, which he mentioned towards the end.
Okay, so you completely mental lapse there. Right?
And then at the end of his speech,
Yep.
when they played the QAnon soft music at the end.
Hulkamania?
No, QAnon.
Oh, because I thought I thought his theme song was Real American by Hulk Hogan theme song, but
no, this wasn't his.
It's a pretty cool theme song, to be honest. But
he mentioned that Biden is in charge and he has to go against Putin, who has nukes, and the way things are going, we're going to roll into World War II.
World War III.
No, he said II.
Well, that's a bad one. So you're suggesting his cognitive functioning is slightly declining.
Well, one could say that, one of the other concerns that voters have is Biden's age. But yet the people...
Trump's up there, too.
But, right, most of the people on the right don't consider that he's only 3 years younger than Biden. So it's like you want to talk age, and the only one who's talking about is Nikki Haley, who says that she thinks that you should have
an age limit. Well, that's
no. She wants to have cognizant tests for anyone over 75. But one thing I did find interesting, which I only understood this recently, is Nikki Haley brought it up. Gates brought it up.
Yep.
Is term limits.
2 term limits, right?
Yeah, term limits. And so I find that quite fascinating. Originally I was against term limits, but looking at, nowadays with some of the gerrymandering going on and people, just staying in there for 40 years or so, 50, until they can no longer, do the job anymore. And that's because their constituents can't get them out because of politics, the money, the backing that they have.
You mean like
in
Biden?
Their districts?
A career politician?
Yeah, or
Hillary Clinton?
No, not Hillary Clinton.
She's not a career politician?
No.
She's been in and out of politics for decades?
No, she was first lady.
No.
And
then a career politician?
No. Then she became a senator in New York.
Yeah.
And then Secretary of State, which is an appointment.
Career politician.
And that's it. That's not a career politician.
How many years was
that? New York State, it was no more than 8 years. I'm thinking it was 6.
Okay, plus how many years?
She didn't serve the full 4 years as Secretary of State. Might have been 3 years. No, she was done. She didn't do the second year, so we can say 4 years, 12 years.
12 years. That's still a stipend career. That's not as big of a pension.
But that's not a where you.
It's not a 30-year career politician.
Yeah, but that's not where
short career politician. Okay. I mean, okay. She's
but she didn't serve in
Nancy Pelosi. How about her?
Nancy Pelosi has served a long time in the House.
John Kerry.
Yeah.
Newt Gingrich.
Well, until he got booted out, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think. how long he was, because he was in the House, but he was in politics. But when we're talking about term limits, we're talking about those that are elected, and and actually, I'm not sure that's not a bad idea. I'd also look at the Supreme Court, because a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court, um, I'm not sure I like that.
So I don't have a yeah. I mean, if you're there forever, I don't know. Like there's a very good point. Like some of the more influential or effective politicians are the ones that actually didn't get caught in the swamp, as they say, of just politics and are in fresh. You know, that can really make a difference because like they're not tainted by, I guess, the game.
But yet you do need to have someone with experience.
Do you really? You need somebody that knows how the game works and knows how basic geopolitics works, yes.
No,
But you
no,
really
it's
need
just
somebody that has experience in terms of how to play the corrupt game of politics
when
in
you say
Washington.
corrupting in order to get things done. Particularly bipartisan.
Knowing how lobbying and gerrymandering and well, or knowing how money works, like in terms of influencing political votes, maybe donations. All this could be a lot of this could be resolved if you just simply had a law that when people run for office, there's a limit as to how many millions you can put in a campaign, no matter what.
There used to be a law.
So again, same conversation as last week. Why haven't they done that? Oh, the establishment.
No, it wasn't. It was the Supreme Court. It was the Robert Supreme Court that I'm thinking it was Citizens United that again knocked out limits.
So can't you reintroduce a new law to put in like some limits on that?
Yes, you can.
Do it.
Yeah, but who's going to do it?
I don't know. Somebody that's serving the public.
Really, but
oh, you mean they're all corrupt? Okay.
I'm not saying all corrupt. Again, it's
if the politician's job is to serve the people originally, and the majority of people's poll says they ought to do X, Y, Z, and in this case, X is a limit as to how much money you can use for funding for your election, and they don't do it. Are the politicians in general serving the public?
No.
Okay.
And I can give you a direct example.
Okay, so then
common sense gun laws.
Okay, if the majority of the public is like
we're talking about left and right.
Fine, that's fair. If the majority of the public votes for common sense gun laws, then I'm assuming we're going against people on the right, politicians on the right, and they don't enact on it. And I'm assuming this is within their state because every state has their particular set of laws.
Well, no, but I'm talking about a federal plan also. You can
it gets state rights.
No, yes, you can. Because I'll give you a prime example, right? You have to be 21 years of age under federal law in order to buy a handgun. You have to be 21 years old. You can have you used to have a federal gun against automatic weapons,
right.
Weapons of war. And then that was, I think it was on 10 years and it was allowed to expire. I'm thinking it was on the clip.
Nobody's used a Second Amendment clause against that?
No, it was tried in the Supreme Court, and yeah, it was a federal law. Again, the what's always skewed, and I should look this up and quote it, what exactly the Second Amendment does. It gives you a militia a right to bear arms. Not every yokel who feels like it, and that cannot, a law that cannot be created in order to protect the people. And we see that in states all over the place. Like Massachusetts has one of the most restrictive gun laws in the United States. That, New York, and other states. However, that doesn't stop people from having guns and using guns.
Yeah.
So, there's some argument around that. Prime example was on January 6th. The reason you didn't necessarily have a lot of gun-toting people were they were afraid of the D.C. gun laws. And so that if you were caught carrying a
That's
gun,
a state. Well, that's not really a state,
no,
but a district gun
right,
laws. Right.
right. But again, you can create a law federally in order to protect. Because, for instance, assault weapons.
You could, but I mean,
would
why
argue
would
that
you need to if the states themselves can vote on their own like jurisdiction the way they see fit?
right,
Why would you
because
need
what you want is to set a floor.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because all right, in Florida,
Yeah.
they just passed. Texas also has it that you can carry a gun without a license.
Okay.
No restrictions on that.
All right. Let's see how
Right.
that works for him.
All
It
right.
may not work for him.
Well, what if I want to take my gun to Massachusetts?
Well, in that case, you're going to get nabbed in Massachusetts for carrying a freaking gun because the laws here are a little bit different. It's not rocket science.
Unless you're a defensive back for the Patriots, Jones, who got bagged with two loaded handguns.
Well, then why didn't you get nabbed? Well, two-tier justice system?
He did get bagged. Guess what? Because I thought at minimum he should have lost some money over it.
Right.
But they gave him, I think was it 24 hours community service?
So two-tier justice system.
Oh, there's always been a two-tier justice.
Well, then there's another thing the population would rather vote against.
No, but the difference is what the right is claiming as two tiers is nonsensical in the fact that they're saying that it's two tiers against Trump, that he's on the wrong side of the tier. He is not. It is a two-tier for those who have money.
Yup.
And those who don't.
Okay.
And if you have money,
so he's getting off because he's got a lot of money.
No, he's not getting off. But for instance, as you know, the Fulton County RICO case that they have against the 19 defendants that come across, they all had to go in and get their mugshots, right?
Right.
Well, for almost all of them, and then normal people, it generally takes an hour to go through the process.
Trump got like a 6 month or so, get prepped for the photo shoot.
It wasn't just that. It was exactly when his motorcade went in the back to when it came out was 22 minutes.
Did he?
However, when you find out about it, those 22 minutes, most of that time he spent in the limo. He signed some of the documentation in the limo. He didn't actually have to go in to this place.
Yeah, but it's still a tier justice system in the sense that for some reason Biden's case is not being scrutinized.
You
as
keep
bad
saying
by
when you say
Hunter Biden,
okay,
and indirectly Joe Biden.
How was it indirectly
because
Joe
of Biden Senior's blabbing about how he knew nothing about his son's dealings, but then it was caught on tape about him threatening officials in Ukraine about how if they don't get this guy off the board in Ukraine for whatever oil company, whatever they were doing there, the deals are off when he was vice president.
And what it was a corrupt prosecutor. Right?
Was he really? Who? That's still a threat, though. That's like, isn't that the correct word? Extortion.
Let me finish. It was a corrupt prosecutor whose problem was that he was not prosecuting because they were trying to knock out corruption throughout the government, and he was not prosecuting problems with Barista. So he was preferred to be where he was in Barista. Getting rid of him hurt Barista. But it was Joe Biden's threat, but it wasn't just Joe Biden. It was others who were concerned in Europe about, again, this particular prosecutor, that he needed to go because he was corrupt.
He was corrupt, but Hunter Biden was not corrupt.
I didn't say Hunter Biden was not corrupt.
So it's kind of hypocritical for one person it sounds like a two-tier justice system, even if it's not intended the way we're thinking. How's that
two-tier? Right.
Well, if Hunter Biden to this day is not in jail for some of the shenanigans he's been doing,
what has he done? What has he done? I'm not talking about back to your morals or was unseemly.
Listen,
what was illegal? Moments. That's what I'm talking about. What was illegal that Hunter Biden did?
Well, he did serious amounts of, was it meth or some sort of drugs? That's illegal.
Oh, when he was on drugs?
Yeah, that's illegal, right? Drugs are illegal, right? Unprescribed drugs are illegal.
Okay.
Prostitution, I believe, is illegal, right? Maybe not in all states, but...
He was a prostitute?
No, he wasn't a prostitute, but he was with prostitutes.
and he was caught.
I'm not
by
saying that no other
officers
politicians aren't. I'm again to your like. I'm not saying like morally it's frowned on if all else, and I get all sides of that bullshit. I get it. But
using his father's name,
using his father's name,
right,
and then
in order to get a company to pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's not illegal, I guess.
It's right. It's not illegal.
His buddy, who was his partner,
yes,
you probably saw that interview. I think Tucker Carlson gave him the interview where he was talking to that guy who happened to be Hunter Biden's business partner.
Yes.
And he was like, listen, this dude was shady from the start. You know, I suppose you could make the clause that what he did was not illegal. I mean, definitely frowned on, though, from moral integrity.
Well, forget
two-tier moral justice.
No. When you talk about a two-tier justice, that's justice. We're talking about people who are doing something that is illegal.
Illegal from the biblical standard.
Not biblical standard. Laws written by man.
Written conveniently by whoever happens to be able to manipulate the goalposts during that term of presidency.
Under Barr, for Trump's last 2 years in office, they had actually the prosecutor that was assigned and that was appointed by Trump was on the case under Barr for 2 years and found zero to indict him on. Was kept on as a prosecutor by the Biden Justice Department, where generally federal prosecutors, when you get a new president in, they all are replaced by, incoming more Democratic or whatever prosecutors. That's a normal thing. They kept him on this case specifically because they did not want to interfere or look bad as to replacing him, and he continued for 5 years to investigate Hunter Biden. They come up in court. They had a deal. They were going to, for lack of a better term, remunerate the gun charge, where that if he kept his nose clean for 2 years, that would go away. And they made his tax evasion on the money he made, in which he has paid back the taxes that he owed.
Okay, just to
was
speed
a misdemeanor.
Up, but you agree he's no saint.
Oh, of course not. But he's not the president of the United States.
So the president of the United States is supposed to be a saint.
Why did I say he's
a saint? Because if he's not the president of the United States, therefore he should not be, his sins, if you will, should not be scrutinized or frowned on as much as if he was president of the United States, then it'd be really sketchy. Because the role of the president of the United States is supposed to represent the saint. Otherwise,
where did you get that
from? You, because apparently, as president of the United States, you have to be completely clean of a bill of record. I'm assuming the sins of your past you should have virtually none. I mean, isn't that what people do all the time? They mudsling against candidates.
Where did you?
I'm not saying you said that directly, but if I'm taking the themes of what you're saying, right?
No, all I'm saying is Hunter Biden. What the right is doing is Hunter Biden's problems. And again, show me something that he did that is illegal, and I have no problem with him being prosecuted and sentenced accordingly.
Drugs, that's not illegal. Okay,
what? How many people? All right. Did anyone in law enforcement catch him using drugs? He wrote a book about it. Come on.
But he did do drugs.
Yeah, he did drugs.
But just because the law enforcement didn't catch him on the act doing drugs, and he's
don't you need that?
Well, I mean, it's obvious if he's if he's sitting there in a tub like all methed out, that he was doing something that was probably not approved of by his.
How do you know he was in the tub all methed out?
Because I saw a picture of him in a tub where he looked like he was methed out.
Okay.
I mean, the women that were with him that were scantily clad, I can't imagine we're having a charity donation.
So you leapt that those women
I'm not gonna
were
say,
prostitutes. That's where you
Well,
just leaked there?
I don't know. I mean, I guess mutual consent. So from that reference frame, I can understand that, like, hey, they're all mutual consenting adults. It's what it is, right? But I guess
So
his,
where's the illegal? I'm
right.
still
So
waiting
he's not
for the legal
illegal.
stuff.
He's not illegal. So we fleshed out that the name of the game isn't about ethical or moral standing. And granted, none of us are perfect. Okay, we all have our shit.
Right.
I get that. Please help support the human race by sharing, hitting a like, and subscribing. Share the wealth of any wisdom, knowledge, and understanding gained when you listen to our show. Thank you so much.